This story, we are joined now by the Western Cape Acting Social Development MEC, Dr. Nomafrench Mbombo. MEC, good evening to you and thank you for your time. I know you are about to get into a meeting, so we'll be very brief about this. Were you approached as social development to get involved here, or you decided to get involved on your own?
Thank you very much for having me. Because it involves children, automatically in terms of the Children's Act, we have to be involved. The issue is about the one which is Joslin, the parents, because immediately what we normally do is to provide the counseling for the families under the circumstances. But also in this case, because there are also siblings who are the minors, we have to safeguard the safety of those siblings, which is now they are safely under our care, but with the families. So that is what we normally do generally.
Yeah. So now that the children, the care of the siblings are under your supervision, what kind of support is being provided?
The ongoing counseling, because when one sibling disappears, it affects not only the family, but specifically even the other siblings. But at this stage, they are not necessarily in the institutionalized or in one of our safety sites, but they are still with some of the trusted families, but under we are safeguarding under our care. But also, as you probably have seen, that it involves now the whole community. There was a time in the past where the community even marched to the mayor's office demanding that something needs to be done. You will have seen or heard when even the involvement from the other municipalities. So it has already taken everyone in terms of the interest around that.
Yeah.
I think the issue is about that. The body hasn't been found, or there have been no other any of something that could be able to, even for police to be able to understand exactly what will have transpired. But I think it is a progress that at least now there are 4 suspects, but it is worrisome that you find that the mother is part of the people who are being accused. In most instances, even although I'm not in social development, but in the health space, because at the end we also get involved, especially when they end up finding the body and then they have to come to our mortuaries. But usually when they are looking for the person who has disappeared, normally it will be the mother who will be the ones who needs a lot of support, guiding the people who are searching for the child and all of those. But in this instance that the mother is involved, we are getting very worried that it could end up seeing most of these things happening, especially in these impoverished communities, where now we hear that the issue of the 20,000 that was being asked as part of the human trafficking arrangement.
Well, you mentioned 2 critical points here, MEC. The alleged involvement of the mother, and then there is this amount of 20,000 rand. What can you tell us? Because there has been media reports suggesting that substance abuse could potentially be involved here. Can you tell us, without a shadow of doubt, that the parent who is in custody may have been a substance abuser or a substance user?
From the social development, because that's a question that I've asked, that if the government, the department has been involved prior, because it's their responsibility to identify families at risk. From the health side, we've got projects like first 1,000 days, the first 2 years of a child's life, where we do the social development and the Department of Education, other stakeholders in the area, middle force, was in impoverished area. That has got actually some of the level of the substance abuse and alcohol. So when I asked them if the family was their client before that happened, they indicated that not as far as according to their records. So it's only then when Joslin disappeared that now they ended up engaging, providing the counseling. The mother also, everyone in the family, even before they were taken, the accused. They also underwent the counseling from the social development. But generally, in that area, there are elements of the substance abuse and also alcohol, which is not a surprise in the sense in kind of those families. I know it from the health perspective, but some of the families at the time were identifying the families at risk in regard to the first 1,000 days to protect the children. We identify some of them, and then we've got programs that are there where community health workers go door to door in terms of following up. But what I know that in that area as well, that is the Department of Social Development, they do have some of the safety sites. Mm-hmm. In the whole provinces, actually, there are about 26 of those funded and registered, some of the centers, where people could be able, if you drop in some of these children that are neglected or the children at risk, like anyone could be able to do such in those cases. But noting as well that the family of Joslin, it's not only them. There are also sisters, there are also some of the other aunts and the uncles. It's not only them. So it's a quite extended family. I also had some of the, not me directly, but just to find out about the father of the children, of the 3 children. Yeah. So one is around, but it's still an ongoing.
Is Joslin's biological father in contact with you at all at this stage?
It is. I haven't had any contact with him, but based on me asking about more information, they did confirm that the biological father did come, I think from Northern Cape, something like that, and also there's allegedly that he did indicate that he had been wanting a custody for the children. I think the 2 belong to him, but I don't have much of the confirmation. I didn't have a conversation with him myself.
Yeah. Finally, MEC, the cases, I'm not going to say this case most certainly is about this, because you have sort of dispelled that notion that substance abuse could be involved here. But are you seeing a rise in cases where substance abuse by parents ends up affecting the well-being of children? Are you seeing cases like that, more and more cases like that?
The recent statistics, which is the third quarter of the 2023, which is October to December, coming from the Department of Social Development in the Western Cape, they said there are about 2,535 of the child abuse cases. Out of those, the majority were the sexual and also the deliberate neglect by the parents. These are the majority. And according to them, you find that the neglect is not about the children are staying with the relatives. They are staying with the parents themselves. But at this stage, I don't have information whether there's been any elements of substance abuse in those cases. However, generally, the crime rate that normally we see, whether it's through the gangsterism, but you find that the substance abuse and drugs and alcohol do contribute. I'm basing this on, with health, we've got violence prevention unit, where we get stats within 24 hours for those cases that come to our emergency centers. Yeah. So specifically the alcohol. We have seen the impact of alcohol on some of these, not only among the young people, but even among the older persons, for those people who come to our emergency centers.
Dr. Nomafrench Mbombo, let me thank you very much for your time. She is the Acting Social Development MEC in the province of the Western Cape.